Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Welcome to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World.
Hooray!
This podcast is made possible by the lovely people at the British Comedy Guide who host it lovelily.
Hooray!
And also our wonderful subscribers and supporters on Patreon.
Haboo!
No, they're good too.
Oh, hooray!
They're really good. They're really good, okay? They're amazing. And we have some plot so fars by members of our secret gang on Patreon. First up, Gareth Edwards. Half a dozen Brummies are digging a tunnel system through an overhanging cliff to create the set of The Fugitive. The girl one, Matilda, offers the rest a mint humbug. They refuse, as they've all heard Ginger Bee sting. She throws the sweets away, which will apparently have consequences in Chapter 10, and I, for one, can't wait.
Yeah.
The next plot so far is by Dave Hart. 6 workers are toiling hard underground, laying water pipes under a cliff, in a cliff.
Yeah.
First, they do it in the dark, then they do it in the light, then they wonder why they're doing it at all and want to go home.
Good.
Matilda, the only woman in the team, offers the workers a humbug from her undercrackers, which they decline. And this plot so far is by Rose Parsons. Some men, a woman and a boy were digging a tunnel in a cliff. Was there a boy? Because maybe she means the one who lives with his parents. She's just assuming he's a child.
What? All right, yeah.
Some men, a woman and a boy were digging a tunnel in a cliff when the lights cut out. Bert, an irritable Brummie, was really annoyed about this, but equally annoyed when they came back on. To cheer everyone up, Matilda the Mint Lady got out a sack of mints. But since none of her 5 colleagues wanted to eat mints whilst digging a scary tunnel, she threw them all away, the mint idiot.
Good.
This was apparently a disastrous decision, although we won't find out why until Chapter 10. They're definitely going to die, though. I think this is what literature experts call subtle foreshadowing.
Thank you.
So last week we heard the prologue of your story about some humans digging pipe holes, right?
Pipe holes, correct,
Pipe holes, yeah. And now we're going to get started with the real beginning of this story, Chapter 1. The living dead went the wrong way, humanoid mole people's first attack. Erick Jenkins was, quite frankly, too old to be going to the cinema to watch films. We all do this. Like, you have ideas and you reuse them, especially when you know whatever you had the idea in, you didn't finish or it didn't get made or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like with drilling, for example. You're like, well, hey, no one ever made TARDIS 5. Why shouldn't I write another script about drilling? Or, me, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll put a thing about giant ant creatures from outer space.
Yes.
We've talked about it a lot, but until it became an episode, now I've let it go. I still mention it a lot, but I don't go, oh, what if this was about giant ant creatures from outer space? Because we've done that now.
Yeah.
But until you find that place, you keep using it.
Going
You keep trying. You're like, maybe this is the place for a film called Revenge of the Homosexual Nuns from Outer Space.
When have I used that before?
No, it was something different. It was just a similar. It was a film that
Nigel and watching in
Derek, I think, watched in the bus story, which was it was homosexual something versus something else. Wow. But you thought a hilarious film title would be something that mentioned homosexual. You're like, that's my joke, done. So, but here you've gone further. You're like, not just homosexuals, but homosexual nuns. Hilarious.
I don't think I knew what a nun was. Yeah, got you there, didn't I?
Of course you did.
I was going to say homosexual then.
Nun was better, yeah. But I mean, I think you knew what both of them were, but only on a very superficial level.
Yeah.
Like, you knew nuns were those religious people that wore black and white, and you knew homosexuals were...
Men.
Yeah, was another word for men. Oh, actually, something's crossed out here.
Man nuns. It's a homosexual man nun.
But nuns is a replacement. It looks like it said homosexual nadges. But, I mean, tell me what you think.
Nadges.
Nazis, that's what it is. Although I feel like it's Nazis versus homosexuals in the bus story. They're not homosexual Nazis. But they're just your two words that you like using that you put together in some way in a film title, right?
Yeah, well, they're quite similar, nuns and Nazis, aren't they? When you get down to brass tacks.
Almost exactly the same. Both of them believe in genocidal murder.
Yeah, both wear outfits.
A lot of black. They like a lot of black.
Yeah.
It's childish, people would say to him. And be mature. Have some sophistication.
Oh, so he
No,
doesn't think he's too old to be watching homosexual nuns from outer space.
No, he loves that kind of thing, but other people tell him off for it. Yeah, you're setting up a character who revels in what he likes.
Yeah.
Probably from your own experience of really, really liking Doctor and everyone else telling you you're a moron.
Yeah.
As Eric walked home from visiting the cinema, he didn't watch a film. He's like, so how have you been recently, cinema? Have you
I've been showing some movies.
I brought you these flowers and chocolates. Okay, bye, see you later. That's the trouble. I see when I improvise characters saying stuff, I seem to have got into the habit of them having to say bye.
Yeah, no.
And because of that, I had to stop myself then.
Yeah.
I then want to say milk. Why? And that's your fault. That's your fault you've indoctrinated me with your goodbye scenes. Now, anytime a character says something, I have to go, okay, bye, at the end of it.
We'll have to do George Lucas, Can't Live Ever, because there's that big long bye scene in it, and you've got to add loads and loads of milk to it. George Lucas has recently gone back to all his Star Wars movies and added the word milk every time anyone leaves a scene.
Milk.
Yes. 15,000 when we get to Alderaan milk.
Yes, I am your father, milk.
No! And he jumps off, and as he falls down that air shaft, he just goes,
That'd be a good milk scene.
great milk.
Milk.
Of course, Yoda says milk when he arrives. It's confusing.
Yeah. Milk, I will say.
Clem?
Yeah.
What are we talking about now, Yoda?
Clem, hello. What? I've taken my way of speaking too far, I have. Clem, hello.
So much for no callbacks about milk then.
Okay, Yoda, I came here to learn your wisdom, but I think I've come to the wrong place. Clem, hello. Yeah, I'm off now. Clem, hello. Everyone started saying
Clem, hello.
Clem, hello.
Clem, hello. Stir me, Clem.
It's a Dalek doing it in Star Wars.
What? Tom Baker just turned it up.
No, but he is
Darth
playing
Vader,
Darth
yeah.
Vader, so that's okay.
Yeah, well, one of the Daleks is playing C-3PO. No, what's the short one?
C2PO. So we're with Erick Jenkins, the human protagonist. He's just been to see a movie about mole people.
Brilliant.
It is interesting. Check, it better be interesting now. I'm going to be very disappointed.
It will be. I've never let you down yet.
No. It is interesting to note that the 1061 humanoid mole people films produced in the 60s were not made by one company. In fact, 1060 companies used the idea, ripping each other off because practically nobody had an imagination of their own back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, stupid 1960s people.
Yeah.
Their rubbish imaginations. Look at me in my mole book. I'm much better. Only one company, Shady Productions Limited, made 2 humanoid mole people movies. The second one they made was not a sequel. The first one was so insignificant that they'd forgotten about it after a week. and made what they assumed was their first the following month.
It's impressive, isn't it?
This is actually kind of like almost like a satire on what films are like now. Their first film was so shit and boring that they forgot they'd done it and rebooted it by accident. No, it's not a reboot. What do you mean a reboot? Well, you made this film before. Oh,
Did we? No, what do we?
it's almost shot for shot the same film.
Christ.
Oh, we weren't really paying attention. Stupid humanoid mole people films. I mean, if you replace the phrase humanoid mole people with superhero, right? Like 1 million superhero movies have been made, and they were all rubbish because no one had imagination, and they needed to use the imagination of people from the 60s. The first one was better.
Oh shit!
It is also interesting to note that this beak is about this book.
For
Yes.
fuck's sake, you've got it in your hands. And you go, what do you think you're reading? A beak? What do you think you're reading? A beak? What's wrong with you? Well, to the library. You've checked out 4 beaks.
You wrote it on a pelican. It's not my fault. Well, no, it's because you've gone meta. I mean, I thought you were still talking about humanoid mole people. I didn't know you'd gone, this
Moles
book...
don't have beaks. That's birds.
And what about duck-billed platymoles?
Ah, okay, you got me there.
Yeah, I've got you there. Okay, so it's interesting to note that this beak...
You're just doing it in a Scottish accent. That's a very interesting beak you've written there, Doctor Who.
I've just been reading a beak. Scottish accent, yeah.
If you're Scottish and you're listening to this and you say beak and like to go to the library to read beaks, then do get in contact with
And
us.
you're not talking about birds with things written on them. Yeah. It is also interesting to note that this book is about humanoid mole people. And so you may think that you recognise the storyline. You do. This is also a complete rip-off. It is based on Shady Productions Limited's second humanoid mole people's
their bad
movies.
one.
That is their bad one, yeah. Yes, I did say the first one was insignificant. What? No, you didn't. I said it was better.
The first one was insignificant and it was better.
Yet better.
There you go. So you want to finish reading sentences, don't you?
But you didn't
It's like
say...
you've never read a beak before.
But you didn't say it was insignificant. You said they forgot about
it says it was since they forgot about it because
so
it was insignificant.
they forgot. Okay, yeah. Yes, I did say that the first one was insignificant, yet better. Therefore, it is advisable to not expect a plot. All that really happens is the humanoid mole people emerge from the ground and kill people. And it is at Erick Jenkins' house that the invasion begins.
Dun dun dun!
Time for a drink.
Humanoid mole people coming out the floor.
Oh, not another mole. Oh, no, another mole person's come out my floor.
You'd think that, like, if you loved humanoid mole people movies, maybe you'd be quite excited by the prospect of it happening for real.
Yeah.
I guess he's certainly best placed to survive.
He knows it.
Yeah. He knows all about crosses.
That's what I was going to say. When I started yawning. Really enjoying your story. I heard, I don't know, I'm not sure how true this is, I think it is. You actually yawn when you're interested, not when you're bored, because you yawn to get more oxygen to your brain. So when you are tired, but like something happens that you want to devote brain power to, it makes you more likely to yawn. So if someone is listening to you and yawning, they're more likely to be interested in what you're saying rather than bored.
Right.
And the idea that people yawn when they're bored is a complete fallacy, because you don't. You yawn because you're tired.
Well, what they taught us at drama school was
how to act.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
How'd you know that?
Thanks for joining in.
How'd you know that?
Thanks for adding your knowledge to the pot. No, what did they teach you at drama?
The yawning is it's a release. It's like if you do loads of exercise, the yawn will come out because you've actually released tension.
Okay.
Which I know is definitely true because like we used to have to like do loads of like going chewing and stuff like that, and then you'd yawn.
That's called lunch. Yeah, like we'd go in, we'd learn acting for 3 hours, and then we'd have to do chewing practice. And they'd give us different things every day. Sometimes we'd have a choice, like I'd have a sausage sandwich or something, do chewing practice, and then we'd have swallowing practice.
An hour of chewing a day was weird.
Yeah,
Go to the chewing room now.
We'd do a bit more acting, and then we'd have to do alcohol drinking practice, and then sleeping practice. So Erick Jenkins has walked back from the cinema and is arriving home. Erick opened the front gate which led to his home. He wasn't married, but was intending to get hitched in a few months. Wonder if he's like chosen who yet. He's like, I think I'm going to get married in May. Have you got a girlfriend? No, but that's a few months. I can probably find someone in that time, can't I?
I've been online and I've seen one I like.
Yeah. She's called Paris Hilton. I want that one, please. Where do I apply? That's not how dating works. You don't just see a picture of a woman and go, I'll have that one, please. This is not a Grimm's fairy tale.
My favourite movie, Logan's Run.
Yeah. And every fairy tale ever. And then the prince said, I'll have that one. And she got married and lived happy ever after. Yes. Yes, that's true. I've been listening to fairy tales recently. It's shocking how often a woman is a prize at the end. His wife-to-be, it's alright, he's got a wife-to-be. His wife-to-be was Paris Hilton, and he'd never met her.
His wife-to-be?
Was not as good as his wife 1A.
Yeah, she's really good.
His wife-to-be would go insane. No, I think that's just go inside.
Yeah, she would, when it was raining. I don't know, if it was sunny, she'd come out again.
This was not necessary to know, but Eric wrote it down anyway. His wife-to-be would go inside. Now he contemplated she would be cooking dinner for him.
Yeah, should be.
No, now. Oh, it's just a. His wife-to-be would be inside now. He contemplated. This is a missing comma, isn't it?
She would have finished her shift at the wool shop and be home doing the ironing and cooking.
Yeah. He contemplated. She would be cooking dinner for him. He grinned and skipped up the path, happy that he was living in the kind of world where his wife did all the things for him.
Yeah. Well, women do cook as well. I mean, it's
sometimes. Yeah, maybe it's her turn. Maybe it's her day. He cooked yesterday and he's cooking tomorrow. Yeah. She's cooking today. He grinned and skipped up the path to the front door. The house itself was totally detached.
Oh, wow.
Totally.
He lives in a floating house. Brilliant.
Yeah, he had to tie it down. It was totally detached and very blue.
TARDIS? He lives in the fucking TARDIS.
Yeah, it's totally detached.
And was always spinning around going warp, warp.
It had blue window frames, doors, walls,
Daleks.
and a blue garage.
Blue Daleks.
Yeah. Eric could almost taste the meal ahead as he unlocked the door and pushed it open, knocking his wife's dismembered head across the hall.
Whoa!
And into the broom cupboard out of sight.
Oh my gosh.
Not only has he knocked her dismembered head into the broom cupboard, but he didn't notice that he was doing that. No. He just thought it was a regular football that the door hit and then it rolled off.
He didn't hear it or see it, and there's no blood obviously coming out of a dismembered head.
Yeah. He bent into the kitchen. Okay, I think I may have read that wrong. No, he went into the kitchen and stared at the large brown mole.
Oh, fuck.
Hole. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's not brown.
Well, I mean, mud's brown. Could be a brown
large
mole,
brown mole hole which didn't match the blue floor.
Oh, no.
Tiles,
blue floors.
Wallpaper and curtains. He really has got a blue house. Yes. Blue floor tiles, blue wallpaper, blue curtains. You'd go mad. If everything was just like blue, you'd go insane. He stared at the pile of mud. He stared at the moving pile of mud.
Oh!
He stared at the moving pile of mud with the muddy creature clambering out. Okay. He gulped. Seconds later, he was out of his house and on his way to the police station. There's a big mole in my house. Help! It is interesting to note that he overtook several vehicles on the way.
Wow.
Oh, now, when you've said it is interesting, I've agreed with you. Mm-hmm. But I'm afraid on that last note,
moving ones, not parked cars.
Yeah.
Interesting to note that he ran past some stuff.
Stuff didn't run with him.
Hold on a second, that's not interesting. It's interesting to note that he overtook a cougar.
Yeah. It's interesting to note that he was the Flash.
It's interesting to note that he was the Flash and he broke the speed of light and went back in time.
That's brilliant. I love that about the Flash. They just went, this character's kind of boring. Is that all he can do? He can run fast. All right. What if he could run fast through time?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Let's have him time travel in almost every episode. Brilliant. Nailed it. Chapter 2. The Humanoid Mole People. Poor Stanton Edra was a very enthusiastic humanoid mole teenager. Paul Stanton was a member of the Valandraban tribe. The Valandraban.
Is he digging for Balleranium, is he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, digging. They were... No wonder you fight it.
They're drills,
They're nature's
living
drills.
Nature's drills.
Moles are nature's drills, all right? And that's why you loved writing and drawing pictures of moles, because you're like, what's the best animal? Well, which one can drill?
You could be right, man.
Moles can.
You could be right.
It's true, they're nature's drill.
Yeah.
They were the best explorers around. The Tunnel Scouts had a maximum membership of 12, which consisted of 3 warrior humanoid mole people, 2 archers, 6 explorers, and a leader. The leader was called Veltar Yog. Veltar Yog. The leader, I'm going to say it again, was called Veltar Yog. The leader was called Veltar Yog, and it was to this humanoid mole person that poor Stanton was now reporting. The Tunnel Scouts had recently made a very interesting discovery. They were quite used to the hit-em-and-they dong poles.
Ah, good.
Hit-em-and-they dong poles. The hit-em-and-they dong poles. Yeah. But they'd never expected to find such a large one as the yellow one. I found a very long pole. Yeah. It's a particularly long one. Look how long this pole is.
Very long.
But they never expected to find such a long one as the yellow one. Zeppa had accidentally burrowed into the other day. Okay, the yellow one that Zeppa accidentally burrowed into the other day.
Zippy.
I'm Zeppa.
Burrowed into that big dong pole.
Whoops.
What a massive hit him in the dong pole.
Whoops.
Whoops a daisy. What's such a big, it's a very big hit him in the dong pole.
Not hit him in the dong pole. That's not what they call it.
Hit him in the dong pole.
Hit him and they dong.
Yeah, hit him
pole.
and they dong pole.
Veltar Yog had decided it was their duty to investigate some more before they returned to the others, and so they'd been scouting around the yellow pole for some days. Well, days. Not only was it big, it was very long as well. I have scouted the pole, and I have got a report for you. Yeah. Not only is it big, but it is also long and turgid.
It's got a very nice girth, this pole.
Not only was it big, it was long. I mean, big. It is big. But is it long? It's also long. Is it wide? No. It's just big and long.
Yeah, they don't have that word.
The scouts had set up camp and worked shifts investigating the pole. Alright, whose turn is it to look at the pole? 3 o'clock, okay, it's Steve's turn. Okay, Steve, look at the pole. I'm looking at the pole.
Oh, lovely.
Right.
What a lovely looking pole.
Okay, John.
How big and very long it is.
Yeah. John, it's your turn to look at the pole. I'm looking at the pole, alright. Long and big.
Oh, I've seen bigger. It's not that big long.
Yeah. Okay, when Paul Stanton's turn had come, he had set eagerly to work. He
looked really hard at it.
Looking really hard. He made the second interesting discovery. The first one was that it's big. But Paul Stanton discovered that it's also long. That's what I reckon.
Yeah.
Okay, chapter 3.
Oh.
Before the beginning of time, there wasn't any time.
Yes.
It's a good line. This was good in some respects. It meant you'd never miss the bus.
Because it never turned up, right?
It should say. Right.
Yeah, go on.
Before the beginning of time, there weren't any buses. This was good in some respects, as it meant you'd never miss the bus because there wasn't any buses to miss.
There's such thing as buses.
It had its bad points as well. The bus never started, stopped, left or arrived, and so, naturally, everyone got a little bit confused. Fortunately, there weren't too many people around to be confused. Just one family of all-powerful beings who couldn't die because they were eternal and were already dead anyway.
And were alive. And were ghosts, spooky dead
They couldn't
ghosts.
die because they'd already done it and they were dead or alive. The Smiths, as the family of Eternals was called,
Brilliant, Goldsmith.
consisted of 26 brothers and sisters.
Wow, that's a lot of characters.
Yeah.
Good luck.
The more notable of the 26 were, of course, God, Satan, and Death. There was some dispute about whether Satan and God were really members of the eternal family, but no one could prove otherwise, because they had no parents, no doctor had delivered them, and birth certificates weren't generally available then.
Generally.
So what you say? There's these 26 Eternals who were there from the dawn of time, but two of them
wasn't any time at that point.
Yeah, from before the dawn of time. Yeah, okay. But two of them might not have been. They might just have been like imposters turning up from where?
From some other universe.
Yeah.
You know, the Smythes, and they just like changed their names a bit.
Yeah. Anyway, the 26 brothers and sisters lived together and shouted at each other a lot, but it was generally all good fun, except for the different two. God and Satan really disliked each other. They shouted loudly, and they shouted all of the time.
Wow.
The other 24 members were all perfectly happy doing absolutely nothing. But when God challenged Satan to the ultimate game, Satan couldn't really refuse. And so all 26 Eternals were thrown into the game. And the game...
Snakes and ladders. Yeah, is that right? Am I right? No. Okay. Well,
no, it's like you said, this is an epic. And the game was Snakes and Ladders. It's not going to give you that real epic feel. And the game...
Snakes and big ladders. Well, it's really big snakes and massive ladders. Epic ladders.
Yeah, no.
Long, and really long, big snakes. Big, long snakes. Never-ending ladders. Is that it? Is that the game?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the game...
It's the game of life.
...was Ludo. No.
Yeah.
And the game was life.
Oh, the game of life.
That's not the game of life. Not that board game, the game of life. But the game was life. Life is a very long and complicated game. First, you set the game up. Big Bang and creation of the planets. Next, everyone chooses their character. When you have your character, you do your job. Brilliant. So I am Gad, and my character is going to be Steve, all right? He is a refuse collector. He gets up really early and then empties your bins and shit, okay? That's my character. Who are you, Satan? I've decided to be the President of America. Okay, I'm not sure this game is fair, okay? Can I change my mind? No, you can't. You're Steve the refuse collector.
Also, you're sacked. Get out of the country.
I set the whole of the Secret Service on you and you're dead. The main characters develop the planets and evolve the life forms. And then, obviously enough, everyone attempts to win. This is done by...
rolling a double six.
Gaining the most pies.
Gaining the most pies? Oh, fucking hell.
That's what it says.
It says points, obviously it says points. It doesn't say pies.
Look, it says pies.
Or maybe it could be a pie-centric game. I don't know.
It says pies. It's the game of life. You don't get points in life. When was the last time someone gave you points? The only time in real life you get points is if you drive badly, all right? But you get pies all the time.
Yeah. No, well, I mean...
If it's the game of life, I reckon getting pies
It's
and
the
winning...
abbreviated version of points. It says PTS.
Listener, it says pies.
Pies has got 4 letters in it. There's only 3 letters there. It says PTS.
Yeah, like you can spell. Okay, so the winner is the one with the most pies. One of God's first attempts at creating life resulted in the production of humanoid mole people. God wasn't too pleased with them and shelved them away in his stronghold. Satan decided to raid God's stronghold around about the same time, and it happened that during this period he had an alliance with Luck. So all these celestial beings, they are elemental forces, aren't they? They're things like, what if we had time and luck and war and...
Yeah.
and
until you get to Keith, and then it's confusing. It's like, what are you again? I'm Keith.
I'm Keith. I'm an elemental Keith.
Hello, I'm Keith. Right, okay.
So during this period he had an alliance with Luck, which allowed him to roll 2 6s. So you're right, they do.
I was joking before, but they
do roll dice. Yeah. He stole the humanoid mole people and kept them as his own. Unfortunately for Satan, they were pretty nice, and he couldn't make them evil.
Okay, I get it, yeah.
Yeah, so he couldn't make them evil, no matter how hard he tried. The only way Satan could ever make them true to his own image was for them to die, and for him to convert them. They wouldn't have been any use to him dead, though.
Right.
So he... So when it says convert them, so like basically like put a sticker on them or something that says evil. So like, I've made my moles. I killed all my moles, and then I wrote evil on their faces. So now I've got an army of evil moles. Okay, evil moles attack. Oh no, they're all dead. I found a flaw in my. Right, so we just learned that God made moles, Satan stole them and tried to make them evil but couldn't, followed by some guff about how he could make them evil if they were dead, but then they'd be too dead to be evil. That's basically what the pros just told us. So let's find out what that means.
Okay.
Chapter 5, The Demise of the Non-Believer. But it's true, I tell you, it's true. Hello. Listen, Eric, said P.C. Wilkinson, you have just had a little to drink. You just need to sleep it off. My wife, she might be in trouble. They could kill her. Or they might already have killed her and cut her head off. But like when I went in, I knocked it and it went in the broom cupboard. Eric, you are getting hysterical. The fact is, you have been to the cinema to see another... I mean, that was true. The fact is, you have been to the cinema. Okay, would you like another fact? Another fact is, you are wearing socks. Okay, do you want another fact? All right, well, Copenhagen is in Europe.
Is that right? Right, is that true?
It is a city in Europe, in Scandinavia. All right, would you like another fact? The first man in space was actually called Steve.
Monkey.
Yeah, he was actually called Steve the Monkey. Yuri Gagarin gets all the press for it, but actually it was Steve the Monkey. Eric, the fact is that you have been to the cinema to see another film about moles, and you've had something to drink, and generally you're pretty drunk. You're generally drunk. Eric, you are generally quite drunk.
Yeah, and also you've not got a wife. What are you talking about? You're drunk.
Yeah, I would listen to you more if you had a wife or ever had a friend.
Sounds like he's in there a lot. Sounds like this policeman knows him. You've been to the cinema yet again. You're drunk again. You've been to see mole movies. Now you're claiming there's moles in your
Making
house.
up wife. Like I remember that time. Remember that time you came round not long ago and said that you were walking around London with some woman called Eve. She had a job in a wool shop. No one believed that either. It was true. I played her a song in the London Eye. The London Eye is not open at that time. No, we watched the sunset. That's impossible. No, shut up and go home. She introduced me to her mad gran. She was dying in hospital. This is getting ridiculous.
And then I killed myself. Oh, yeah, so maybe you're right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. What about that time you said you went on that bus trip to a gilded hotel? That was true. I did go to a gold hotel.
Yes, and you said that it was a gold hotel with a casino in it and 10 floors and an underground shopping precinct on the M1. And what about that time when you came and said that someone had wanted to marry your sister, but she was underage, and so you had gone in her place, but then she died of window disease? You remember that one? That was a particularly foolish one. No, it was true, and I became a witch at the end of it, and it was really difficult for me because I had to keep trying to get a new sister, but they kept like running away or having their penis cut off or something. I can't remember, but it was all very difficult. And when I finally got one, I was put her in the tower and she ran away, and then I had to kill her or something. I can't remember how it worked. I think I killed her. You better arrest me. Actually, I've done some pretty bad things now I think about it. You're pretty drunk. There aren't really any moles invading our planet. That is a fair, reasonable thing for a policeman to say. They're humanoid mole people, and they've dug up my kitchen. I'm going to put you in a cell for the night, so you can sleep it off, you mad old weirdo. No, my wife. You haven't got a wife.
He hasn't, though, because they're not married, right?
Yeah,
he's thinking of getting a wife at some point.
Future wife, yeah. They'll eat her, then they'll come for you. That is a weird thing to think. You think they're going to eat your wife and then immediately afterwards come and get a random policeman?
Yeah, I've seen the film. That's like their dinner courses. It's wife, start
wife, and then
main course policeman, and then like dessert pig.
Right, Erick Jenkins is trying to convince the police that there's killer mole people, like in the movies, but real.
Wow.
And, unsurprisingly, PC Wilkinson is not having none of it. PC John Wilkinson was the law enforcement in Grentville. He alone made sure no crimes were committed.
Oh,
and stuff like that.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you just got bored.
Yeah.
Like you're going, he was a police officer. He made sure no one committed. He was oh, fuck, why am I explaining what police officers do? Everyone knows this. Everyone knows. He wore a hat and a uniform and he had legs. No, I'm getting back to that again. Don't need to say whether or not they've got legs. He had a head. Sorry, you had something to say? Did I interrupt?
Not really, no.
Not really? No, okay, I'll carry on.
Nothing good.
Nothing good.
No, I was just thinking about exactly that. Just this idea that I better fill up these pages, so what should I do? Let's describe what a policeman does.
It's also maybe a thing about not planning, isn't it?
But I'm wrong, though. I get it wrong, because that's not what they do. I mean, well, maybe in an ideal world they would.
Yeah.
Like in Minority Report, they stop you before you do it. But what they actually do is
catch people who have committed
crimes.
Crimes, yeah, not make
Otherwise, what are you going to do? You can't arrest someone for not committing a crime, can you?
Yeah.
You thought about it, didn't you?
You look like... that's getting really dodgy, isn't it? You look the type to commit a crime. I'm putting you in prison. In what way do I look the type? I'm not going to tell you my criteria, but they are very clear to me. But that's not in an idealised world. We're not saying in an ideal world all the police would be allowed to put particular people in prison just because of the way they look.
Yeah, just because of the stripy shirts they're wearing.
Yeah, because they've got a bag with swag written on it.
Yeah.
I tell you what, in kids' cartoons and games and stuff, life's so much simpler, wasn't it? You know the criminals, because the criminals are good enough to wear one of those what are they called?
A masquerade ball.
Yeah, the thing that you tie around your eyes that's got two holes for your eyes. Right? What's that called? Like a face bandana, but it's got eye holes.
Yeah, face hat.
Eye hat.
Eye hat.
Criminals are good enough to wear an eye hat,
Squirrels.
loads of black and white clothes, black and white stripy clothes, and a bag with swag written on it.
Squirrels. So evil squirrels. I thought you said squirrels. And I liked it so much I had to...
Squirrels. I liked it so much I had to say it 25 times.
Squirrels.
Squirrels. Is that criminal squirrels?
Yeah, that Nick Nuts.
Nick Nuts. That's
Knickers.
No, Nick Nuts is the guy that keeps stealing. They keep stealing his TV. It's like, come on, squirrels, let's go and steal Nick Nuts' TV again. It's like, oh, but we've already got 15 TVs. Do we need another one? Come on, what if we don't steal his TV? We're not squirrels.
Squirrels is a kids' TV show waiting to happen.
It totally is. Nick, I mean, that is that kind of traditional, that hard put upon human character who you don't really like because he's a bit of a kind of blowhard, but also when you step back and look at it, he's the victim, because these like we all love the squirminals. You know, they're intrepid.
Yeah.
They're quirky. They've
all got face goggles.
Yeah, they've all got
face hats.
Face hats. Yeah, both. Some of them have got face hats. Some of them have got face goggles. Right? Mix it up, right? But they're the wisecracking fun characters, so we like them. And obviously Nick Nuts.
Yeah.
He is a kind of like annoyed, big kind of human character. We don't like him. But yeah, when you step back and look, this poor guy keeps buying TVs.
Yeah.
Like every week he has to buy a new TV, and then a load of squirminals nick it and take it to their tree where they can't use it. It should totally be they should hang it from a tree. Yeah. So when you go and find this tree, it's just got loads of TVs hanging from it. Because that'd look great as well.
Well, they bury them, don't they, so they can eat them at Christmas. That's what squirminals do, right? My understanding of squirminals.
They put them in their cheeks,
yeah,
so they can watch them later.
Yeah.
If you want to watch TV, you have to look in a squirminal's mouth.
Yeah, they don't understand how video recorders work. That's the bane of being a squirminal.
That is probably true, but I don't know what your point is.
Well, because they think that, like, you know,
watch it later.
Rather than recording TV, you eat the TV and put it in your cheeks, and then like you can watch it later.
Watch it later, yeah. So why did you eat that TV, Steve the Squirminal? Well, because I was busy when EastEnders was on.
What were you busy doing? Stealing the
eating
TV.
Eating the TV. Because you've got to eat it when it's it's on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't save that show for later. You only save the one that's on, according to the Squirminals. So the foolish thing is they're only ever busy eating the TV that they should have been watching.
The foolish thing is the Squirminals.
And the foolish thing is this idea and us. Hello, welcome to the House of Nick Nuts. How can I help you?
Hello, Mr. Nuts. I've come to fix your TV, sir.
All right, come in and fix my TV then.
Okay, I need to put it in my mouth to fix it.
Wait, stop eating my TV! No, you Squirminal!
What's writer in the world? What's writer in the world? What's writer in the world? What's writer in the world?
Hey, Howard, I really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
And I tell you what, I'm really enjoying this story generally.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's
Brilliant.
just a really good story.
So good.
So what I'd like
Yeah.
is more.
Okay, you can have it.
I'd like more of this story because it feels like I don't know, it feels like there was a lot cut from
was.
that. From this, like the original manuscript, probably much longer than what's in this episode.
That was, and you can see that original manuscript if you would like to see that original
Yes,
manuscript.
I would like to see that original manuscript. Where can I see that original manuscript?
Get yourself over to Patreon/The Man by Cows.
No. Don't change the name when you're giving a URL.
Okay, what was
Now
that?
try it again.
Patreon.com/Man by Cow.
Yes. Or you can just go to our website, manbycow.com, and find links there too. And if you join our secret gang for as little as $2 a month, you can get all the pages from this story. And I tell you what, those pages are just one of the many. I mean, there's like the least good thing that you get if you join the secret gang. They're good.
Beg to differ.
They're good and
So
everything,
the
but you
best
get
thing?
so much more. At $2, you get all the extended episodes of The Worst Writer, all the plot so fars that we don't use, and all our fun and laughter insulting them and talking about how rubbish they are. And sometimes how good.
Rarely.
No, I mean, today's were really good, right?
No.
Check out the extended episode to find out how good all the rejected plot so fars were. If you join at $7, you can get the complete Gret Binch Thief and the Adventure of the Very Bad Dog, 8 chapters, as well as loads of other stuff, including 2 episodes of the Man by Cow podcast series 5 and a bunch of other stuff. If you think you might be interested but you're not sure, then just go and have a look on Patreon and see what's on offer. It's all, you can see what you would get before you make any kind of decision.
Yeah.
And as we've said before, there is no real commitment. So if you
That's right,
sign
you
up
can-
and change your mind, you can leave again. And of course, if you join the gang, not only do you get loads of brilliant stuff, but you also help us to carry on making these shows that you enjoy so much every week. So check it out, and we will be back next week with episode 3 of The Mole Thing.
Yeah, let's call it that.
Yeah.
Back with the mole thing.
Bye-bye.
Drill you later.
He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer. Yeah.